Welcome to the show. Hope you had a good weekend. My book comes out tomorrow. I hope that you've ordered it. Please do review the book right away on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Goodreads. It'll really help us into week 2 and week 3. Democrats showing signs of life. Democrats really rocking red states with crowds that Trump could only lie about having. That's the truth. We're going to talk about everything that's been going on, but more importantly, what this represents is a sort of new era now. We had the devastating loss of November. We had the despondency and a lot of people understandably kind of checking out of politics. Many of you telling me, David, sir, I need a break. And all of that made sense. And then now, having been reminded of how bad it really is under Trump, and the what this second term portends, people getting activated in ways we haven't seen in a very long time, even though corporate media news ratings continue to decline. MSNBC, CNN down, toilet ratings. Independent shows like ours are bigger than ever. Our best January on record was this past January. Our best February, and some people like to not even say that R and they say February, however you like to say it, last month, the best of those months ever. And March on track for the same. Everybody is seeing this exact same trend because people are activated, but they're activated not to hear from, I'm so sorry I have to say this, not to hear from Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, but because they want to hear from our friend Greg Casar, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Bernie Sanders, and so on. And so look at this picture from Denver, Colorado. Over the last few days, an absolutely massive crowd, 34,000 people. Speaking of Greg Casar, here he is in Tucson, Arizona, introducing AOC, who introduced Bernie, energy, audience. Take a listen.
That's not right. It's not right. They want to come after programs for working people. They get their $8 million a day while they try to cut food stamps for the working class. While Elon Musk makes his $8 million a day in government contracts, he's coming after your grandma's $65 a day. While Musk gets his $8 million a day, he's trying to shut down the Department of Education, trying to shut down the Department of Labor. Musk wants you to work more hours to make him more rich. Musk wants you to pay more taxes to make him more rich. Tucson, I've had enough of this. It's time to say, fire Elon Musk.
All right. And then the energy palpable as Greg Casar introduces AOC. Right, and then we'll hear a little bit from Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. This is Tucson, Arizona. This is happening in red states all over the country.
And they will throw out every label and judgment and cultural debate in the book to keep us distracted, folks. This is what the focus on trans kids is all about. Come on, 1% of the entire population. If people want to have conversations about that, take it to the NCAA. It doesn't need to be on the floor of the United States Congress. Right. We need to be taxing the rich on the floor of the United States Congress. We need to be establishing guaranteed health care on the floor of the United States Congress. Not erasing American history on the floor of the United States Congress. We need to be passing a living wage on the floor of the United States Congress.
And then Bernie Sanders just as fired up and firing up the crowd too.
Absolutely important is for us never to forget we are today the wealthiest nation in the history of the world. There is no excuse for 800,000 people to be sleeping out on the streets. There is no excuse for 20 million people, including people right here, paying 40 or 50% of their limited incomes for housing. There's This is America. We can build 4 million units of low-income and affordable housing. We can lower rents.
And Bernie Sanders also going directly at the campaign finance system and how Elon Musk dumped money into Trump, and now he's extraordinarily powerful.
Now, I don't care if you're a conservative Republican or a progressive. Does anybody think it makes sense that we have a campaign finance system where one man, Musk, can put $270 million to get Trump elected, and then his reward is that he becomes the most powerful person in government?
Well, you know, that makes sense when you see democracy as an auction available to the highest bidder, who recently was Elon Musk. Now, we're going to look at a clip of John Ossoff, who also held his own anti-Trump rally in the red state of Georgia with a fellow Senator Raphael Warnock. We're going to look at that in a moment. But the important takeaway here, there's a number of important takeaways. You don't have to believe that Bernie is the future of the Democratic presidential candidate for Democrats. And in fact, Bernie made clear in an interview yesterday that he is not running. Okay, so this is not me telling you. Bernie has said he's not running. You don't have to believe that it's AOC. I have no idea. Some people like AOC, some people don't. Some people say she's too far left. Some people said she's sold out. Now she's too far right. The point here is, number one, the energy is back. Number two, the people getting more attention right now than Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, for all good intentions that we ascribe to them, is a different type of Democrat. I like seeing that because I think the future presidential candidate is going to come from that new group, not from the previous group. Number three, the themes are spot on. What was I just talking about with Congressman Jamie Raskin last week? I was suggesting, and he seemed to agree, that we need to be on message, and we need to be on message about these cultural issues. The reason we call them contrived is because they are contrived. And AOC saying we're talking about under 1% of the population when we talk about trans people. I would go even further. And remember, this is not to say we don't care about trans people. This is to say, why are they getting disproportionate hate as scapegoats from the right? And it's exactly for that reason. Under 1% of the population is trans. Only a fraction of that population is involved in sports at all. Only a fraction of that fraction of a fraction is involved in the sports in which the issue of birth, biological sex matters. And only a subfraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction is at a level where we really even need to be worried about this. It's a completely contrived issue. And what I love hearing from Bernie and AOC and Greg Casar, and in a moment from John Ossoff, which you will see here, is that they are saying on the stuff that matters, healthcare, economics, wages, jobs, etc., they have nothing to offer you. They have nothing to offer you. Here is Senator Ossoff.
And none of this is on the administration's agenda. They just do not care. They do not care. Trump's cabinet is worth like $60 billion. That's not even including Elon. They are literally the elites they pretend to hate.
Right.
The president is not at his palace in Florida thinking about whether you can afford daycare for your daughter, or how to stop insurance companies from denying your claim, or anything that matters to our daily lives. When is the last time you even heard Donald Trump talk about health care or child care?
When he said that he had concepts of a plan. John Ossoff is very good at this. These rallies are a great sign of energy coming back. We're going to be talking about it a lot more. And of course, Democrats must be on message to make this effective. These last 5 days seem to suggest that there is a message here that has been found. I have a book coming out. I've spent a long time working on this. I couldn't be more excited to share it with you. It is called The Echo Machine, and it answers a crucial question. How did American politics get so broken? And just as importantly, how do we fight back effectively before it's too late? Trump back in the White House, damage piling up, an administration filled with extremists and loyalists, attacks on democratic institutions, policies hurting working people. If you've felt like you're screaming into the void and watching democracy slip away, my book, The Echo Machine, will help you make sense of what's happening and also give you an idea of what we can do about it. Go to davidpakman.com/echo or find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Audible, Kindle, anywhere books, ebooks, and audiobooks are sold. You can also call any local bookstore and say, I'd like David Pakman's The Echo Machine from Beacon Press. Pre-orders make a huge difference. Please support the book at davidpakman.com/echo.